Looks like my big helper is here. What took you so long? You were supposed to show up earlier. The video is done. You already uploaded the plan. How come you didn't help me out? Alright guys, today we're gonna be uppotting our fig cuttings to a 1 gallon container right here. This is a container that I got off eBay and it's really beautiful. Look at that. Just amazing. All the holes are drilled perfectly. And we'll be going from these 32-ounce containers into this. So you could see all the roots in here spreading nicely throughout the container. This is just your basic soup container, 32 ounce. So there's no way that I'm gonna be able to get this out without cutting this container open. I should have really lined a bag inside of it so I could just pull the bag out, but since it's too late for that, we're gonna have to cut the container open, which is not a big deal, and try to not damage any roots as much as possible, then place them into the 1 gallon. So I also got my handy tool here, just in case if I run into an issue with that scissor when cutting it. This is my soldering iron, and this is a super handy tool. You could just melt away the plastic like it's nothing. So, just a background story. I got this fig cutting on November 29th, end of last year. This came from Fearless Figs on Etsy. It's also actually a small nursery based in Vermont. So if you guys want to see something cool, I got my email connected to Google Gemini, which is a AI tool that's built into my Pixel phone. And you could basically just ask it, when did I get it? And it would tell you the date. And it's really super handy because I forget. And interestingly, 3 of these cuttings here came from the same seller. So that goes to show you that where you buy the cuttings do matter and the quality of the cuttings matter. Because as you can see here, this is SMGG, which I also got from the same seller on the same date. So you could see they all have similar growth, healthy cuttings. So it does, what are the chances all 3 cuttings from the same seller make it up to this stage within 2.5 months? So where you buy your cuttings do matter and the quality of the cuttings matter. I just wanted to point that out. All right, we'll get started with the uppotting process. I'm just gonna go through each one of these items real quick. This is my potting mix. I'm just gonna call it Chase SP mix or something like that. I'll just take a playbook from Irritable Gardens, Ben's channel, and we'll call it the Chase SP mix. And I got my soldering iron, and this is rice hulls mixed with perlite and a little bit of fertilizer.
People who don't want to use their own special soil mix, what can they use instead?
Alright, for those who don't want to make their own soil mix or don't know how to, you can just buy Pro Mix HP, which is similar to this, and you can also just add some, since these are already rooted cuttings, you could add fertilizer to that mix. You could right away add some slow release, Miracle Grow, or something along those lines, and have a great well-draining mix for your uppotting needs. So we have our 1 gallon, which I got from eBay. Just really nice containers. They also sell this in 3 gallon, which is also nice, same design and really cost effective. I actually recommend this more than tree pots because it has a more of a surface area for the water to drain. And I just have a trash bag that I got off Amazon, which I'm gonna use to cover this up once it's uppotted, so all the water that drains from here will go into the bag and it don't make a mess in my house. So that's that, and we will get started with the uppotting process. So there's no way, like I said, you can get this out without breaking roots unless you cut it. And these containers are really not that expensive on Amazon, but if you wanted to save these containers, you could just line it with plastic and just pull the plastic out, which is what I'm going to do from here on. But yeah, so let's get started with cutting this up. Okay. Actually, I'm going to take this top rice hulls and I'm going to transfer it into here so that it doesn't make a mess over here. So as you can see, the soil is kind of dry. You don't want it to be too wet. You want the soil and the roots to hold as much as possible, so you don't want to water it and do this right away. So like water the day before just a little bit. And I also wanted to show you there are no drain holes in here. So I've been just monitoring how much water I give it and controlling it. So yeah, that's one thing to note. But all right, let's go and cut this open. So I'm gonna pick an area where there isn't that many roots. So like maybe this side is better. So just to make sure that I don't damage too many roots. There you go. Got one little root in the way, but shouldn't be too bad. This is probably the worst part of the whole process because it's impossible to get your scissor in through there. So that's what I have the soldering iron for. I could probably just pull it and it may just crack open, but just to be safe, we will melt this away right here and draw a line from here all the way up to here. Then we should be able to just crack it open. Still warming up. I just wanted to show you something real quick. You see the plastic here? This was when I started. I didn't really know the difference between that and actual parafilm. So this is just plastic that they sell on Amazon as parafilm, which is misleading. So I'm gonna take this off with my soldering iron before we start. We just go around it and they break open pretty easily. You're not gonna harm the fix stick in any way by doing this. Alright, so once you got a little opening there, you can just pull on it. This is a mistake a lot of the new fig roading folks make, that they think this is actual parafilm and they waste their money on it, and it's just, as you can see, it's just plastic. This is real parafilm and it stretches. Alright, now we're gonna cut around it with the soldering iron. It just really melts through really easy. And at the bottom, you make sure there are no roots. I don't see any roots at the bottom. If you see any roots, you would just cut around it. I have already done like 2 of these earlier in the week, and those plants are doing really well because there was actually minimal root disturbance when I uppotted. Because that's one of the ways that you kill your cuttings when you uppot. And you also want to make sure when you're uppotting, the soil in here is somewhat similar to the one that you're uppotting into. Meaning the moisture levels, at least for the first 2-3 days until it gets adjusted. All right, let's see. Turn it around and see if there are any roots in the way. So I don't see any roots here. So I'm just gonna make a cut here. Okay, still don't want to give in, so I'm gonna cut it a little bit more. Now that I got it pulled away from the soil. Take this out. Look at that. And gently slide it down. That is good. Try to center it as much as possible. And you just backfill it. So when you're backfilling, you want to make sure that all these holes are covered up on the side and there are no air pockets. So you would tap it down as you fill it. See how much soil went down when you did that? And then you add a little bit more and tap it down. We will put our little tag on. So we know what it is later. And you could lightly water it around the plant, or you can just leave it and let it settle in for 2 days, then come back and water it. This soil was already moist to begin with, so you can see it's sticking to my hand. So it has enough water for like a day or two before it needs any more water, or even a few days, because the container is bigger now. This is what it looks like once up potted. It's beautiful. And I think I'm just gonna take this bottom growth off because it's just gonna suck energy away from the plant. I'm just gonna take that off. There you go, it looks better. Now we're gonna top it off with some perlite, fertilizer, rice hull mix to stop any fungus gnats from getting in there. And this part of the soil, once water, dries up really fast. So the fungus gnats don't like to lay their eggs on top of this. So you want to make sure you can tap it down a little bit more. And I'm going to be keeping this just out in the open under a grow light, not in a grow tent. But so I don't want to water it too much. But if this was outside and you're doing this in the spring, you can water it and no problem. But I have to keep the water to a minimum till we put this outside. That's all there is to it. That's how you pot from cutting to a 1 gallon. And from here, we will go to a 3 gallon, or you can go straight to a 5 gallon, depending on your climate and where you're at. So 1 down, we got 3 more to go. This is the car fig, and there's a story behind this fig, and this is the one that survived the car fire in Northern California. And this is Sister Madeline Green Greek. This is actually from Little Rock. This was a tree that Sister Madeline took care of in Fort Smith, I believe. Fort Smith, Arkansas. All right, guys, thank you for watching, and stick around for more fig content. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and thank you for subscribing. And if you like this video, like and subscribe below. And take care, and have a good day.